This is the legendary Kokane on the Home Invasion Show. Y'all know what it do. We stay on point like Stacey Adams.
There's no place like home, where the gangsters roam and roll no crumbs. It's that Cali fucking classic.
Big OG Kokane, you with me?
Yes, sir.
What's going on, bro?
Oh, man, slow motion like the OG, and I'm back.
That's what's up. Goddamn, Kokane, we had you on twice, I believe, on the show. So you almost like an alumni, you know what I mean? You original on the show.
Man, I appreciate the invitation as always.
Oh, my, it's all love. It's all love. Now, you know, we talked about you being on. To be exact, the last time we had you on officially was when you put out your Kokane love songs, right? And
yes, my wife, Lady Kokane, presents Kokane love songs.
There you go. That's what's up. That was the last time we had you on. In between that, you also dropped an album, It's Kokane, Not Lemonhead, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, unfortunately,
yes, sir.
Unfortunately, we didn't get a chance to chop it up with you for that album, but we did spin the hell out of the tracks, you know what I mean? We added it to our rotation, we spun it. But
Appreciate you.
Between you dropping that album and now, why don't you fill in the gaps? Get us caught up. Let us know what's been popping with you.
Oh, man, you know, I stay working, man. That's all, you know, we do around here. We pride ourselves on work, you know, from the wifey to the kids to the team. And, you know, you got to be able to enjoy what you do. So I enjoy this. I'm passionate about it. Like you said, we just dropped the It's Kokane, Not Lemonhead. We also dropped the Greatest Hits, Volume 1. We're going to do probably like 10 volumes, but the Volume 1 is out right now. And we just dropped 2 singles, actually. A single called Do It Coca, kind of really taking you back to the 80s authentically when Zap was doing their thing.
Hell yeah.
And we also dropped the doo-wop cut, kind of like mixed between the Dales and the Dramatics.
Oh.
Really geared towards the 70s and 80s. It's called The Good, The Bad, and The Ugly. That was also inspired by the Slide, Slick, and Wicked. So you can kind of say we've been busy and just making sure all the Buddy Boy artists continue to do their thing. That's what it is, man. Just enjoying the journey.
That's dope. You know, we added Do It Coca to our rotation, you know?
Yes, sir.
And it's been crazy. It's exactly like you said. You know, me, I'm a big Zap head too, so it definitely took me back to those times, you know?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Man, I totally agree, man. Ain't nothing like good soul and funk music.
For sure, 110%. Now, Kokane love songs, right? That one was kind of different than the stuff you usually put out in terms of genre. This one was an R&B album, right?
Yeah.
And
it was an R&B. You know, if you kind of you know the history, which you do, but if people out there in the audience that don't know the history, I was kind of like one of the first ones on the West Coast to really do the rapping thing, busting, because that's my first love as well as mixing it up with the Rick James, George Clinton, Parliament, Curtis Mayfield sound. So it's just one of those things that we were already doing over there at Ruthless Records. And, you know, years later, I always wanted to dabble a little bit more into the R&B world. You know, preferably the 70s and 80s and 90s type R&B, as well as the late 60s. So this with this new project that's coming out, it gave me that opportunity to really spread my wings and lock into just one producer, just like Michael did Quincy, and to really, really touch on the aspect of soul and funk music. So this new album is very incredible. It's an incredible music composition. It's done with live instruments. We went back to some of the tracks on half-inch analog tape to really step out of a time capsule to really, really give you the essence of soul music and funk from the legendary Kokane.
Man, that's dedication right there, you know?
Yes,
that's
sir.
Crazy.
So the last album, you kind of say, you know, that Lady Kokane Presents is out right now, still for sale, kicking ass.
Mm-hmm.
That was a little bit more edgy. You know what I'm saying? But with this with this album that's about to come out, you know, it's suited and booted. You know what I'm saying?
What's that?
Maturity, not only in my, you know, what I used to do, but how I'm evolving, you know, with this music. And I think you're supposed to evolve when you're doing music.
For sure. No, for sure. Because I've been following your career since Ruthless Records, you know? So,
man,
seeing your evolution between, like, you know, doing the hip hop with the sing song here and there to doing a full blown R&B album, and now from what it looked like, this new Finger Roll album, it looks like it's gonna be a soul album too.
Yeah, soul and funk album. We wanted to do it just like the old school groups used to do it. So it's really geared and fashioned towards the 60s, 70s, and 80s. And that's it. You know what I'm saying? So you're gonna hear songs that remind you of your Parliament, of your Dramatics, of your Whispers,
right,
of your Donny Hathaway. And we really wanted to lock in. And like I said, you know, West Coast Stone composed this music live, and I wrote all the lyrics and sung the backgrounds just like I normally do. So it's really, really pushing that envelope and reintroducing those genres from the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s with a 2019 twist called Finger Roll. And really, Finger Roll is symbolic of the old school, because people used to rock them old school finger roll waves. You could see like Sugar Free, you know, like players used to rock that.
Yeah.
So it's really symbolic of that.
That's what's up. You know, it's crazy that you're bringing it back to those times, those eras of music, because to me, the best era of music would be the 90s. To me, that's the golden age, right? But the 90s was heavily influenced from the 60s, the 70s, and the 80s.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So it's all love.
Substance in the music. So, you know, we want to reintroduce those type of sounds and essence to the popular forefront again. You know, we want to take the gossip out of music and ask people to put their pencils in the car and get ready to hear some good feel music. Feel good when you're going through your struggle, or feel good when you get on the dance floor.
For sure.
That's what we put out there.
Yeah, I hear you. It's crazy. And you said you're working exclusively with West Coast Stone on this one?
Yeah, West Coast Stone.
Okay.
And shout out to West Coast Stone, an incredible producer.
That's the homie.
Very underrated.
That's the homie. And you know what? Since we on shout outs, I want to say much love go out to Lady Kokane. You know what I mean? Always holding us down, sending us them exclusives, you know?
Yes, sir. She all of us down. Real genuine woman.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. Now, okay, choosing to work with just Stone, how did that like come about?
I've been knowing Stone for like 16 years.
Okay.
And he always been vibing off my music. And when I got a chance to finally meet him and hear what he do, knowing that he comes from the soil, because he's originally from Watts, you know, from Pomona, California. We got that type of flavor.
Dope.
You know what I mean? It fit more than the OJ blood.
Yeah.
You know, we've been tight, and over the years, we've been able to mix it up real tough. And we always talked about this like, shit,
right.
10 years ago, man, how about if we just lock up one day, just me and you? Because I like a lot of producers. Actually, I got a lot of love for producers out there that I've been able to mix with. But I wanted to go back to where if it was just the music, it'd be one thing, but go back to the character of those genres of music. When they came in, they didn't have to have a lot of features. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to take the less gossip about who I got on my stuff, as the intensity and level of the music speaks for itself. Really going back to the essence. So when I locked in with West Coast Stone, I said, I want to do this album just like, you know, Mike and Quince. They locked in there, and it wasn't a bunch of yes people around them, but it was this. And, you know, ideas are cool, but when you just have a universe like West Coast Stone and a universe like mine, we just collided, and it's been on ever since. The funk been on.
I hear you. No, that's pretty dope, man. You know, and I'm glad you keep bringing up Michael and Quincy, you know, because that's a classic duo right there. You know, that's a dangerous duo. You know?
Man, come on, man. That was like Magic Johnson and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Hell yeah. Goddamn. All right. So I take it from what you're saying, there's not going to be any features on the album?
Yeah. Well, there's features on my album. I'm featuring my daughter.
Nice.
Song got one feature on there from a cut to sound just like the old school Dells or
Sure.
Stylistics called Here We Go Again.
Okay.
It's just geared towards some player shit. You know, with this album, we got social conscious messages geared towards, you know, that real shooting booty sharp shit. You know what I'm saying? And we got some, you know, about relationships because, you know, I changed, you know, with the times, you know what I'm saying? So therefore, you know, my music changed. You know, I'm happily married. You know, I raised 8 babies by one woman. So therefore, there's a maturity to my music now.
For sure.
See what I'm saying? And that's what this whole thing world represents, that maturity.
That's what's up. That's what's up. All right, all right. Now, since we were talking about features, people that don't know should know, but you're considered one of the most featured artists, right? You feature a lot with a whole bunch of people.
4,000 features.
4,000?
And, yeah, well, 4,000 features, right?
Damn, okay, okay. And
yeah, we laid out our first 1,000 at mostfeaturedartist.com just to show the public a view. And, you know, pretty soon I'm going to release the whole thing. And this is not made up stuff. You know, we did this to, you know, of course, leave a legacy for our children and to inspire the youth out there. You know, because even though I'm on documented features out there, and yet when you Google it, some of it has 95 million results. It has some mystique about it. And I say in a humble way, because it's really not put out there like that. You know what I'm saying? And it's a lot of unsung heroes that are behind a lot of great things that because of maybe this generation don't really have the respect for that, or they're not really on that vibe. But real ones know worldwide what Kokane represents as far as the past and still the relevance. So, you know, it's humbling to be on 4,000 features. And it's not really put out there like some cats. You know what I'm saying? It's no problem. But I like it because it builds up some mystique where it's tapped into the people. And that's what I've always been a person. It's about the people, not really Hollywood.
Hey, that's what's up, you know? And this is certified, right, by the Guinness Book of World Records?
Not yet. We're trying to work on that because there was no such thing, you know, as there really was no such thing as that genre. It wasn't like a lot of people, you know, from the 60s and 70s, unless it was a group, like Motown was doing that.
Hell yeah.
So they're doing a lot of research on there, but I'm pretty sure and comfortable, you know, whatever they're going to do as I travel on this journey is going to meet me up at the same road. But I'm comfortable because shit, 95 million results ain't no pump on Google.
Hell yeah.
You know, but it's something to a part of me. You know what I'm saying? To be humble, you know, and continue to travel on this road that that I'm traveling on.
For sure. Not for sure. And, you know, if it's not for nothing, I mean, one of the most featured artists in terms of the hip-hop industry. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, nobody can say that. Nobody can take that away from you.
Nah, man, it's been a long road, but anything that you're serious about is worth sacrificing for. You know, so I've been also able to have my backbone, Lady Kokane, who's been through this whole roller coaster ride. And it's just beautiful, man, because, you know, it's not how you start. It's really how you endure the middle. You know, the finish lines are the finish lines, but when you endure the middle, that's when everything comes in, when wisdom comes in. How you're able to look at the game from a vision point of view as opposed to, you know, the glitz and glamour. And at the same time, you know, it's the middle part that really, you know, is a guide for you to survive in any type of game because it humbles you. Pressure makes you become a diamond. It's either gonna make you or break you. And I was blessed enough for it to make me.
Man, that's what's up, man. That's real talk. You know? God damn. All right, well, you know, doing all these features and stuff, what was some of your favorite features that you've done?
Oh, man. Definitely Above the Law. You know what I'm saying? That's where a lot of fun, rest in peace, KMG.
Rest in peace.
Fun happened. You know what I'm saying? It's the energy, because you got to enjoy what you do it. You know, on 187, my cousin and Layla gave me a chance, you know what I'm saying, took a chance on me. I'm forever grateful. And introduced me to Eazy-E, who took a chance on me, and it was life-changing. So messing with Above the Law, NWA, you know what I'm saying, being able to be a writer of Appetite of Destruction, as well as guest appearing, introducing a character called Sweet Talk, and getting my first platinum record on Niggas for Life. All those things, man, are exciting. You know, definitely working, you know, with cats from E40 to Too Short to, wow, you know, definitely working through the 2000s with E. Cyrus, Snoop. Man, it's just so many cats. I can name so many cats, man. Great Jake Dilla, you know, wow, you Busta Rhymes, Jada Kiss, Prodigy, rest in peace. I don't work with the great ones, man, and that, you know, it's a blessing. I choose my words carefully. It's a blessing to be able to be in their essence.
Most definitely. Most definitely.
And Nate Dogg, too. Don't get that twisted.
Hell yeah.
Go as well as Mac Drake, too.
Yeah.
I work with a lot of cats, as well as Pop. Like, man, it's a trip, man, when I see some of the greats, you know, across the board from different sides of the coast that are not here, that I've been blessed to be a part of. It just makes you feel like a disciple because you was there as well as a participant, you know?
Hell yeah. Not for sure. Now, if anybody tuned in right now that just started tuning in, we got the big OG Kokane holding it down, Pomona style, right here on the Home Invasion Show. Kicking it right here with Livin Large, chopping it up, you know?
That's real talk. And that's something that we always do. That's what I like about y'all show, man. It's just real. You know what I'm saying?
You know, man, I said this on the social media, but I'm going to put it out there on the mic live, you know, for it to be certified. But, you know, when hearing shit like this, it means so much coming from a big OG like you know what I mean? Because, like, again, we've been following your career ever since, like, me, especially back in my grade 7 days, grade 8 days, you know, listening to, like, Ruthless Records and all that shit. So it's a trip. Sitting here and being able to talk with you like this, you know, it's a trip, for sure.
Appreciate that, brother.
Okay, so, like, the names of the artists that you just mentioned that you collaborated with, definitely heavy hitters, right? So, is there any artists that you're looking to feature? Like, are there any artists that you seeing, you know, making noise now, and you're like, you know, damn, I would like to feature with that?
There's some cats. I was able to head down to L.A. like a month ago, mess with Slim 400.
Okay.
Young cat by the name of Carpe Diem Sly.
Okay.
It's you know, right now it's connecting the dots. You know, and I think it's a season for the OGs to hook up with the youngsters, because really the youngsters want to reach out to the OGs and knock down that division. So, but I'm pretty sure, you know what I mean, a lot of things gonna happen. And I've been blessed enough to get on my Lil Bro album, Rico. That's an incredible album. Shout out to Burner.
Right.
Did a joint with Scott Storch called Walk in My Shoes. The whole album's incredible. So I'm just taking my time and enjoying the journey and letting everything happen organically. You feel me?
Right. Is there anything gonna come out from, like, you and Nipsey?
I ain't talked to Nipsey in a minute, but you know what I'm saying? We follow each other, and I know he's doing his thing. Very proud of the brother for what he's doing for the community.
Most definitely.
How he made his pivots in life. You know, I can congratulate him, but I'm pretty sure, as you know, this game is small. It's a small world. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sure we're gonna reconnect and hook on some things. So.
All right. Now, you know, you've been associated not just with Ruthless Records, you've been associated with Death Row Records, and those are two of the biggest labels of the West Coast in the 90s, you know? And if it wasn't for those labels, you would not have Top Dog or anything like that, you know? So...
Right. Right. Well, you know, my lane was Ruthless Records. You know, I stayed dedicated to Eazy to the end.
Most definitely.
To go.
For sure.
And then, you know, basically everybody knows everybody. You know, it's a trip. You know, running around with Suge when he was DLC's bodyguard, our bodyguard.
Yeah.
89. You know, and then looking when we met Snoop, who auditioned first for 187.
Okay.
And, you know, no one warned you in 89 because me and him actually used to stay with us. You know what I'm saying? It's a trip.
Yeah.
How just everything just unraveled. It's really like its own Bible. It's a revelation, but the Bible West Coast hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And, you know, sometimes I just gotta look back and just be very, very grateful that I'm here to tell the real. You know what I'm saying? It's one thing to be speculative about these great MCs, especially the ones that are not here, but it's another thing to hear from the horse's mouth. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's one thing that you know, being accountable for. That's what it's about, handing down the baton, letting them know the real stories, because people don't believe in storytelling no more. Now, I'm not talking about storytelling live, but like people used to sit down in tribes, man, and they used to, that's when we didn't have no television and no computers. It was about storytelling. So I'm blessed enough to go ahead and be one of the storytellers.
Hell yeah. For sure. And like at one point, your cousin, Cole 187, he was like the president of Death Row, right?
He was what?
He was the president for Death Row. Like he took over after Suge was locked up.
Because we Suge, all of us was honest. You know what I'm saying? I got my first Lamborghini. You know what I'm saying? through Suge and Ron Brown, they used to play for the Rams.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We was tight. You know, that's why the things happen how they happen. It just tripped me out, man. That's what the business do. You know, this is a brutal business that we in. It's a lot of shit, man.
For sure.
Deaths, murders, everything else in between.
Most definitely. You know, and that was something I wanted to ask you about, because like when you put out your album Funk Upon the Rhyme, you guys had a diss track around, like, what was it, the last track? You and Above the Law, you guys put it down dissing Dre and Snoop and all them, right?
Yeah.
Don't Bite the Funk. I think that was what the track was called.
It was called Don't Bite the Funk.
Yeah.
On one of the most memorable albums I did called Funk Upon Rhyme.
Hell yeah.
That album was the essence of G-Funk. Pure G-Funk.
For sure.
So we heard them diss us prior to us releasing, but creating the album, like 6 months, and that's when Corrupt said, I don't drink. He dissed me on a record, you know, called Blunts and Tangeray. So, you know, I was like, why'd you diss that? You know what I'm saying? You know, at that time. Yeah. You know, why'd you do all that? I'm like, man, you is coming from Philly after shit. That's how we was. Yeah. What the hell? So we went in and put that particular project and said, fuck it, we're going to keep it 100 and tell the real. So if anybody want to hear that song, those lyrics that we wrote, it's really how the fuck we felt at that time. You know, all the way from feeling that our shit was being bit, you're running away with shit like Mark Zuckerman. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And we just felt that, you know, at that time, Dre and Hutch had a great relationship, and those two inspired each other. You know, it's a lot of unsung shit that went on behind those people that are successful today. A lot. You know, nothing to cry over, you know, spill Kool-Aid or be bitter about. But it's just, you know, it's just that I'm telling you from a footnote of that time.
Hell yeah. No, I understand.
You know, that's what happened back then. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We went at them and they went at us. They like us and we like them.
And it's crazy because, like, after Eazy-E passed and everything else, just seeing you guys collaborate with each other, it's like, goddamn, we could have had this back in the 90s instead of this, you know, bullshit rivalries, you know, and people dissing at each other for no reason, pretty much, you know?
Yeah, well, a lot of stuff had to do with just to keep it real. You know, this is the music industry.
Yeah.
Be careful what you sign.
Exactly.
Don't trust just a smiling face to say sign a piece of paper first.
Right.
You understand?
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't matter who. It ain't no friendship behind the business table.
It's business.
You know, and that what was going on. You know, the one thing I can say about Suge, he told people, which people already knew, but what they were acting on it. He said, you got to be in control of your own masters. These people that are up in those corporate offices don't understand the struggle and where you came from. And you niggas running around acting like you got it like that, but you ain't on your own masters.
Yeah.
Now, in my humble opinion, if he would have kept down that lane, Death Row would have been the biggest thing ever, incredible. He would have been the first one to have a plan.
Most definitely.
Understand? But it wasn't bad that his intentions was pushing against the oppressor, who happen to be white folks or Jewish or whatever they are.
Yeah.
It was the simple fact that he didn't evolve. And when you follow a vicious pattern, you can cover it all day, the leopard all day, but when you get the wet paint off, the spots are still won't be there. So, but at the same time, you got to learn from the whole aspect in the game. You got to be inspired by people, the good and the bad, and the ugly.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
No, most definitely, you know. You got to learn from other people's mistakes so that way you won't, make them, yourself. Shit like that.
Real way. But look what spewed out of that, Top Dog Entertainment.
Yeah.
Incredible length, different other people making their pivots. From Snoop making his pivots to E40 with the drink.
Yeah.
Beautiful thing, but those two things was really the mecca of his records and Death Row.
Exactly. Some crazy shit, A lot of people don't know the music history like that, They just take it for face value.
Yeah, that's why it's a blessing to be able to present the facts and truth to the world.
For sure. Some crazy shit. How'd it feel when you guys were dissing Death Row, and then a couple years later you were actually like up in Death Row with your cousin? Like, what was the feeling like?
Because really, it goes back to this. Even when Ruthless was different, bro. Eazy-E lived around the corner from Dr. Dre. When they seen each other in traffic, they went, what's up, homie? See? Like, everybody going out and doing their thing. So it's time to put away the childish game. Because when I met Snoop and met Corrupt and I met them, I knew them before it was a Death Row. In fact, Code 187 was the one to sign them. The only difference Snoop didn't get signed is because Hutch was working on my album. And Warren G, at that time, before my album, we stayed with Hutch, and he always just talk about Snoop. He gonna be the shit. So Warren G have a lot to do with that man's career, and I'm glad Snoop has acknowledged that, which is a blessing. He's super solid for that.
Most definitely.
Because I distinctively remember those times. You know what I'm saying? So, we were around above the law, Code 187. Man, he's an architect of a lot of shit. And that's not taking nothing away from Dr. Dre. And that man is the unsung hero, brother. Mm-hmm. Of a lot of shit. You understand? Just like I was blessed enough to follow what his way and years later be the unsung hero that's just not mentioned out there. But, it gives a lot of people a lot of room. Like, I got a book coming out, The Making of a Legend, talking about the history of my pops, being at Motown, some of the great things he wrote and composed, all the way to the revelation of being in West Coast hip-hop at the Mecca. You know what I'm saying? And at the Mecca of West Coast hip-hop was really started 79, 80.
For sure.
You feel me?
Nah, man, I get you. I hear that. And it's crazy you brought up Warren G, because, like, common misconception, Warren G was actually not signed to Ruthless nor Death Row. He was actually up on Def Jam for a bit.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah. You know why that was?
He didn't want to go that route, so he did the smartest thing in the world. Once the opportunity presented itself, because Def Jam really needed somebody, he came in and he helped save Def Jam. They were able to bank off the energy and the hype about the connection. And the first thing, man, come on, man, he had that song with Mr. Grimm. That shit was everywhere.
Yeah. Hell yeah. But I mean, like, Def Jam West, right?
Yeah.
That shit, like, I mean, Warren G was up on it, and then South Central Cartel were up on it, and Gangsta Dresta, BG Knockout, they weren't really on Def Jam, but Outburst was owned by Def Jam, and they distributed their album. But, like, it seems like they weren't really... I mean, like, okay, this is outside looking in. This is from my perspective. It seemed like they weren't really trying to put it out there. They're just really trying to bank on the trend of West Coast hip hop.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's most corporate. They follow the culture. You know what I'm saying? If 100 motherfuckers put rainbow shit in there, sticking fingers up their ass, or eating cockroaches on their shit, they go with the numbers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's why, you know, as an independent, you get to have your own autonomy and say, it's not about what you want me to sound. I don't sound like a Kumo S1. I might not rap 100 million miles per hour,
Right.
but I do it still. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. You know, I talked to Prodigy from South Central Cartel, and he was saying that when they're up on Def Jam, they weren't really pushed correctly. They weren't really being backed 100% because of Chris Lighty, you know?
Right. Yeah, that's a loss.
Yeah, and
That was an incredible loss, bro.
at the time, he happened to be the manager for, like, Mobb Deep and stuff, right? And so he was already ingrained with the New York scene. And back in the 90s, they had the whole rivalry with the New York and California thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's stuff like that makes me say, yo, they're just trying to eat off the West like that. You know, they weren't really trying to push people. They weren't really trying to help people out, you know? They weren't really trying to put people out there because, you know, how many albums did Warren G actually do on Def Jam?
The game is the game, too. Also, too, a lot of these artists don't know you can get signed just to be a tax write-off to get shelved.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they got to learn that the hard way, I say.
Right. I mean, that's pretty much what happened with Rakim when he signed to Dre's label, Aftermath.
Yeah. And it don't matter how great someone did. Man, let me tell you something, bro. You know, and rock and roll people don't get treated like that so much. Or not even country singers, bro. A jazz artist. But for some reason in hip-hop, we say we honor our peoples and where we get it from.
Yeah.
It's just business. I'm not gonna say whether it's selfish or not. It's just business. So I'm pretty sure, you know, the god of hip hop, you know what I'm saying, felt that presence. But man, he gonna always be all right. Cats like that was from the Macadine, man. They always gonna be straight because it's about going to the people. The people don't understand before the culture. It was always with the people and backyard boogies and people fighting for hip hop when people didn't like the culture, man.
For sure. And when you look at it today, man, it's the most pimped out culture on everything, you know, when it comes to corporate. You know, you see it in dishwashing advertisements and stuff like that. They throw on a hip hop track or whatever. They do a hip hop thing, and they're not really doing much for hip hop, man. They're just what is it, culture vultures, you know?
Well, you know what's called says something. Hip hop is dead. Man, that's one of my artists too. One of my favorites too. You know, Nas.
Yeah.
You know, he touched on it, man. They seen it. Just like RZA said on Bobby Digital. It's a digital world. Man, people didn't know what the fuck they was talking about.
Hell yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like they was giving game because they was blessed with that insight and their third eye. The real third eye.
Most definitely. And it seems like, hey, if you got that third eye open, man, they're not going to give you that love. They're not going to give you the spins, you know? You can get shelved, all of that.
Yeah, so that's why I'm blessed. Ooh, man, I'm blessed to have someone first that I can trust like my queen. You know what I'm saying? Lady Kokane.
Yeah.
And it's a blessing, man, because a lot of people don't, you know, I've not been able to, for whatever reason, stick around this long.
Most definitely. Most definitely. Shit, the recent death that I've seen, Toka from Brownside, I believe.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. Man.
But I'm sure he's happy. He lived his life. He was a good man. You know, every man that wake up in the morning, you know, it's sin born in us. You know, but, you know, his good outweighs his bad. And, you know, he went out like a G. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I hear that. Some crazy shit. And talking about G's, man, we talked about Suge. And I just wanted to get your opinion on his whole trial and all this, you know, and the verdict. What you think?
That's something that he has to lay in his bed on. You know what I'm saying? Certain things that you do what you give the universe. The universe is only going to give you what you give it.
Right.
You know, I feel for the brothers just like I feel for, you know, Terrence Carter's family and a lot of other brothers that you know, a lot of wrong happened during that period while he was around in power. That happened, but I ain't the one to judge. You know what I'm saying? I don't judge, you know, because he has a family as well.
For sure.
You know what I mean? And at the same time, it was Suge that put up that $1 million for Snoop to bail out. You know, there's a lot of things you want to tear a man down on, but you don't pick up his good points.
Exactly.
I tend not to do that, man.
No, for sure, I hear you. You know? And it's funny that you brought that up because I've seen the footage because, like, apparently he ran Terry down in his car.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen the footage and, like, his defense pretty much was saying that he didn't do it out of malice. He was doing it like he did it by accident because he was trying to escape. And just seeing the footage, it looked like it. You know, it looked like he was trying to be out in a hurry, right? And from what it was apparently he walked on the set for the Straight Outta Compton movie, and an altercation happened, and then that was the result. So I don't know if you talked to Dre or like if you.
Yeah, he was scared. He looked scared. I mean, if I was in that position, you know, of course hypothetically. But if I was in that position, trying to get away, you know, that's what happens sometimes, you know what I mean?
For sure. And it just seems like they brung out his past to incriminate him, you know?
Yeah.
And use his history.
It's called a system.
Yeah.
It's called a system. It's called that for a reason because it's ran by corporations. Once you start to show your ass, you know, they look at you as an ignorant nigga anyway, despite if you're the most intelligent scientist in the world. But
for sure,
you can't keep fucking with folks. To beat a war in anything that you do, when you go to war with somebody, you have to have intelligence first.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? And you got to let the intelligence perpetuate over everything. You know, I just think if Suge would have been more intelligent about his movement and keep the ignorant shit out of it, such as violence or whatever.
Totally American.
You know, who knows?
As American,
woulda, shoulda. It's one of those situations. But
as American,
for sure.
You know, it's just something great to come out of that too. And what's the greatness? It's for people to witness that and to take heed from it yourselves and learn from it and not travel down that road.
Most definitely. You know, but it's harder to do. You know, especially like watching the news and stuff like that, man. A lot of people are just trying to live life and they still get got, you know?
Yeah, stuff happens, man. Shit really happens.
For sure. But yeah, we talked, you know, you brought up your father. You're writing a book about your father. Can you give us some insight knowledge? Like what's up with your dad and how, because like Motown, right?
Right. Well, actually, the book is about me. Autobiography called The Making of the Legend. So it has my father's story in it.
That's right.
It has my story growing up, you know what I mean, living in Pomona. It has my wife, my kids. Everything it is, every fabric of my being is going to be about that book.
That's dope.
That's what the book's going to be about, I mean.
That's dope. You gonna be putting that out on?
It's gonna reveal a lot of stuff, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. You know, I'm trying to figure out like if you're gonna be putting that out on your website or like where you gonna be selling it, because like I'm definitely gonna pick up a copy. You know.
Well, I'm trying to push it at the end of 2019. But right now, I got a couple things going on. I just want to make sure I land the right situation.
Right.
So that way it gives us right justice, you know.
I hear that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. But yeah, I mean, going back, talking about your dad, you know, being on Motown, that shit's ingrained in hip-hop too, you know. The Motown music, the Motown sound, that shit bled through into the hip-hop music, you know. So why don't you give us...
that man did some incredible things, bro.
Well, let us know. Tell us.
Yeah, I mean, he did over 500 compositions. Worked with Quincy, Smokey. Some of his works include Just My Imagination, Papa Was a Rolling Stone.
Dope.
Worked heavily with Four Tops, worked with Frank Sinatra, helped create the Funk Brothers.
That's crazy.
His name is Jerry B. Long, and I'm Jerry B. Long Jr., of course.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, that's great. I never even knew you worked with Frank Sinatra like that.
Yeah, he worked on, because my dad's a musical genius, man. Play like a bunch of instruments, like classical. You know, in those days they didn't have beat machines. You had to write it. You know, and writer, composer, director. When you Google his name, then you'll understand the volume of what I'm talking about and the dynamics of what I'm saying.
For sure. Most definitely. It's crazy because, like, you know, you talking about how this new album that's going to be putting out is going to be like R&B, soul music and stuff like that. I could see from what you're telling me, I could see your father's influence on the record, you know?
Yeah, most definitely, man. And that type of music, oh, man, it's the best. You know, imagine growing up in the 70s, listening to your Marvin Gaye, you know, back when Michael Jackson was doing, you know, Off the Wall, and even Young Prince. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? The OJs, Rick James, Parliament. Imagine at the same time growing up, Cool Herc, Grandmaster Flash, Boogie Boy. You know what I'm saying? All those Rakim. You know what I mean? The Fat Boys.
Right.
You know, the list goes on, man. And then being able to go into the 80s, brother. Listen to your SOS band, your Y'all Rolling Peoples. You know what I'm saying? Hearing them jam. And then going into the 90s and hearing that type of stuff. So, you know, it's been well seasoned. You know, and I wanted to make this album, Finger Roll, definitely a representation like we stepped right out of a time capsule. Because it's the right time, you know.
Hell yeah.
People are really getting back into that bluesy, jazz, soul, live instrumentation, where harmonies was really there and you didn't use auto-tune. You really had to have talent to do this.
For sure.
You know, and, you know, that's what I want to put out on the concrete.
Yeah. So, I mean, one of the biggest artists doing that right now is Anderson .Paak.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And our styles is kind of like, you know, not really similar, but you can tell it can bounce off each other. You know what I'm saying? And that kid is definitely talented. You know, you need more talent like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Nah, he's definitely a trooper, man. We had him perform here in Ottawa for Blues Fest, and it just got like crazy rain and stuff like that, and he still performed. You know, he did not slow down, not even for a bit. You know?
Ain't supposed to, man. You got to give it to him, man.
No, for sure, you know, but we had some other artists that came down, industry heads, you know what I mean? And they were on some prima donna shit, you know? They just came and performed for like 10 minutes and left, you know?
Yeah. You know, them type of, they be dudes that be divas.
Of course. It's crazy. Goddamn, anybody tuned in right now, Home Invasion Show, you rocking with Livin Large, and I got my man Kokane holding it down, talking East Coast, West Coast, talking West Coast history, Ruthless Records, Death Row, all that, right here on the Home Invasion Show. And of course, we talking his brand new album, Finger Roll, coming out real soon. Why don't you let us know when it's coming out exactly?
It's dropping March 30th. We already dropped 2 singles off of it. You already got the one, Do It Coca, and you got the second single. Now the third single, get your calendars out. You know what I'm saying? The third single that's dropping is a Christmas song called Christmas Time.
Oh.
No. Yeah, called Christmas Time. That's dropping December the 14th with a cartoon video.
That's dope.
And that's what makes this Finger Roll album special. Because when you listen to the Temptations or, you know, different groups like the Whispers, they used to have Christmas songs, man. They used to have slow jam.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? So that drops December the 14th. And we're closing out these 3 singles, Do It Coca, Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, and the Christmas Time song, all this year. So at the top of the year, I got some more singles coming out. But the actual Finger Roll album, music for the soul album, that's dropping March the 30th. That's March the 30th for the Finger Roll project.
That's dope, man. I can't wait to hear it. You know, I remember when you were talking about it live on the Facebook, you know, talking about you putting out an album that's going to take us back to the 70s and live instruments and all that. And I was hyped beyond belief. But now, hearing this, I'm like, God damn, I didn't think it was going to come out this soon, you know?
Yeah, man, we've been if you go to my IG, go to @JerryB Long, JerryB, B is in basketball, LONG, Jerry B. Long, and check out some of the clips we've been putting out. We got 15 songs, Soul and Funk out on the Soul and Funk album, and I got like 7 different clips. I wanted to give the fans a little bit more. And also, we doing this fundraising for the project. That's actually getting the fans more intimately involved. Because, you know, as an independent, you want to make sure you section out your people that actually spend on the work that we do. So it's really fan appreciation and artist appreciation. So that way, once the record does what it does, and I match it, of course, with budgets behind there, the fans can feel more intimately involved into this soul and funk album called Finger Roll.
That's what's
up. And that's a GoFundMe. So if you go up on my Twitter, you know, I'm at Kokane Official. You spell the cocaine, Kokane Official. Or you can go to my Instagram at Jerry B. Long. And show some love, man. Donate what you can, man. Music like this needs to be at the popular forefront again.
Most definitely.
So to avoid the politics, I go straight to the people. So the fans can get more intimately involved, you dig?
That's what's up. That's what's up. You know, and pretty much from what you're saying, you wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Eazy-E putting you on, eh?
Yeah, man. Yeah. You know, it was a series of things, you know what I mean?
For sure.
It led up to that, you know. We got to give it up for Hutch. You know, him and Layla took a chance on me. They could have said, nah.
Right.
You know, but, you know, the man upstairs, you know, hooked everything up, all the bullet points that led me to met Eric.
Most definitely. You know, I believe in the saying, everything happens for a reason, you know, and here it goes.
Yeah, it was organic, man.
For sure.
That's the best, man, when you have a dream and destiny, but then you just follow your heart, your gut, you know?
Right. Well, crazy, man. People that don't really know Eazy-E behind the scenes like that, they don't know how crazy he can get, you know, especially with, like, you know, the MTV pool parties and, like, you know, tour stories and everything else. Do you have a crazy Eazy-E story?
Well, my crazy Eazy story is not so much the wild parties, you know what I'm saying, because at the same time, you know, I was making my foundation with my kids, my twin boys, and my wife. A lot of times I used to go to hang out everywhere, But you know, Eric used to spit in the rag. he has this tissue and spit loogies in the rag and put it back in his pocket.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, man, he take it out.
Right.
That was about the nastiest, craziest thing. He used to laugh. But Eric was so clean cut, you know what I'm saying, about what he did and represented. And, you know, that was just one of those little childish hood things that he did.
Right. Man, it's crazy.
Other than that, as far as that, Eric has been, you know, solid. I remember we had a meeting. I think I told you last time. At the time, our kids needed some money, honey, for hernias, surgeries. It was very serious. So Eric had a meeting, and this was the type of person he was. You know, everybody got their good and bad. So you know, I do, everybody, you do, everybody.
For sure.
But the good things that Eric represented, that's all we seen. You know, he drove out from an important business meeting for like an hour and a half and drove and gave us the money to successfully get operation for our twin boys' hernia. So, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, there's a lot of things that you don't see that people like to nitpick and put the bad out there, you know, just because this is a gossip orientated. Ain't no different from Fox News. You know, there wouldn't be no Fox News and CNN if it wasn't no bad news.
No, most definitely.
Good things about Eric, man, will last a lifetime. You feel me?
For sure. For sure. That's crazy. I never knew that, you know? Like, I heard stories here and there about Eazy's good side, you know? But, like, something like this, man.
And you know what? As far as the bad side or whatever, you know, there's a lot of people that you know, parties and stuff and different other things. And, you know, I had to mature out of that myself because I wasn't writing it, just following the Joneses. But that's a footnote in life that people go through. So, and mostly people that's in this industry, that's what's introduced in front of you. So he lived it up, lived his life how he wanted to, party like a rock star. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I'm glad he had that balance and was able to leave something as opposed to just party his way out, not leaving nothing or legacy to inspire those.
For sure. Most definitely. Goddamn. Well, the biggest news out of the West Coast lately, Snoop Dogg got a star in the Walk of Fame. You seen that?
I mean, how could you miss it?
Right? Goddamn. Shit. I remember seeing Snoop Dogg on the movie Old School, and he had like this performance, and in the background, you were there too, right?
Yeah, you know, I'm kind of on the side.
Yeah. Now you were visible. It was you and Bishop Don, you know?
Yeah, and Warren G.
Yeah, he was there too, right? So like,
yeah, Warren G was on the table.
Yeah. So I'm saying, I'm like, yo, Snoop got that Walk of Fame, the star. Y'all should be getting one too, real soon.
Nah. You know me, man. I'm kind of like Public Enemy. Who gives a fuck about a goddamn Grammy?
Right? Burn Hollywood Burn?
That would be good, but I genuinely feel like that. But at the same time, to see a man come from a suppression.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To be able to go to the top and all his endeavors and, you know, through a roller coaster ride, you know what I'm saying? Good, bad, and ugly. He's able to do that. You know, it's surreal, but at the same time, anything that you put your mind to is achievable.
For sure.
And that's what he did. He did that.
For sure. You know? And, you know, much love go out to Snoop. You know, it's well deserved. For real.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Any person that is able to transcend and evolve from a crutch position to stand straight up, man, they should be commended.
Most definitely. You know, and it just seems like it's West Coast season because, like, a little before that, Ice Cube got one too. You know?
Mm-hmm.
So it seems like they're honoring the veterans.
Yeah, man, because you got the impact. See, this is the numbers game.
Most definitely.
It's not a by chance they get that star. You know, they were able to put so much economics, not just into the culture, but into the corporate office.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They made this multi-billion-dollar industry.
That's right. But I mean,
they should give them a star. They should give anybody a star.
Hell yeah. You know, you're talking about pivots and like talking about Ice Cube. He coming out with that big three, the NBA.
Yeah, he already doing it. He's doing his thing, man.
There you go.
That's what I'm saying. You should be able, and that's what Eazy really had the vision for and took a chance on, just as well as the contributing Dre and all those cats.
Most definitely.
Chance. They, you know, but if Eazy didn't take a chance on none of us, this wouldn't be here, man. It'd be totally different.
For sure.
Wouldn't be none of that because Eazy-E was our West Coast Russell Simmons.
Most definitely, 100%.
That man don't get enough shine, in my humble opinion, as all the rest of them.
Well, let me ask you this.
You know, you take the good with the bad.
Why do you think? Because I'm in that category too. I feel like when it comes to the West Coast, Eazy-E don't get the daps he deserve. You know what I mean?
Well, first of all, he's not here to defend himself so much.
Okay.
We have to defend him.
Right.
The people that really, you know what impact that he had on the game. You know, the people. You sitting at home, listen. You gotta defend him if you really genuinely love the brother for what he did.
Right.
Huh?
I hear you. It just seemed like, you know, anybody that was tied to Eazy too, you know, anybody that was on Ruthless, you know, it seems like they got the boot too, which is crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it was also the blueprint. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got the blueprint. The tree is incredible, bro.
Hell yeah. When you look at just NWA and just see the tree branch out, it's insane when you look at it like that.
Oh. I mean, you got to look at Russell Simmons, what he did. Russell Simmons did a lot for hip-hop and through that tree. But then Eazy-E, by saying, yeah, we going to do this. I'm going to take this D-Boy money, put it up, and we going to rock out like this.
Exactly.
Man, come on, man. Imagine if that didn't happen.
Hell yeah.
That part.
That's crazy, man. I don't even want to think. You know? I don't want to think about that hip-hop game with no Eazy. Nope, not me. I don't want to do that.
Twilight Zone, bro. For real way.
Some crazy shit. But you know, something that followed Eazy, even after his death, you know, people talk about it to this day, especially when it comes to like people that were on Ruthless Records, is that whole conspiracy, you know, of him dying of AIDS, but they were saying that he was actually purposely injected. So on the down low, it was murder. It wasn't accidental or whatever, because like if you look at it, none of his kids got AIDS. None of the women he was with have AIDS. It was just him. And the fact that he caught it, so like he caught it, and then a month later, it was full-blown AIDS, and then he ended up passing a month after that.
Yeah. You know what? When it comes to that story, I get asked that a lot.
Okay.
At the same time, you know what I'm saying? When it comes to that, you know, I tell a lot of people, you know, it's good to go ahead and hint, to talk about it a little bit, let the man rest, you know what I'm saying? Because hypothetically, let's just say somebody injected him.
Okay.
Ain't nobody doing nothing about it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just say somebody put a hit on him. what you think people gonna do about it? Who you think they're gonna hate? Jerry Heller or somebody? Jerry in here.
Yeah.
So I think at the same time, you need to celebrate more the attributes, about what he did, not how hypothetically if you got taken out or not. Because who knows, bro?
Right.
But those that know.
Most definitely. For sure. I mean, what about this? Because this blew my mind. Did you hear the rumor where they're like, maybe Ice Cube has something to do with it? Because at the time when Eazy announced it, Cube dropped an album called Lethal Injection.
Right.
What you think about that?
Who knows? Who knows, man? I don't know. And you know what? If I did know, I'm going to still tell you I don't know.
For sure. But I'm going to tell you, from what I heard from that right there, it sounds like a stretch. It sounds like you reaching for information now. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Actually, it was Suge on saying what he said. A lot of stuff. But
yeah.
I just got to tell you, I don't know.
Man, I will say this again, outside looking in, this is just from articles I've read and just interviews I heard from other artists and stuff like that. But do I think Suge did it? No. Do I think Ice Cube did it? No. I think something else happened. I do think it was a murder, and
right.
It is what it is. It's hard to prove that it's a murder because, it's an STD at the end of the day, right? And he was known to be promiscuous. And whenever...
Yeah, so they're going to take that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They're going to take that, run with it.
Exactly. Like I seen a couple...
Cash out in Toronto or something.
No, exactly. I've been watching some artists like BG Knockout and them, on Vlad TV, and they get asked that a lot in terms of like, Eazy's conspiracy and shit. And Vlad is quick to jump, be like, yo, he was promiscuous. It's stupid. And to me, it's like, I get it, but that's the false story. You know what I mean? Like that's exactly what they want you to think.
All I'm gonna tell you, is this: Magic Johnson is still breathing.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
So, a week and a half after me, Jada Pinkett, Will Smith wife,
yeah,
Eazy-E, is at the House of Blues discussing the California video for Above the Law featuring Kokane.
Okay.
Now listen to it. A week before that, Eric was not coughing. Eric was fine. A week later, when we have the meet, he was coughing. Now that's all I'm gonna say.
There you go. That's it.
Now I don't know. That's all I know.
Yeah. But everybody was saying he was at the tunnel when he came back. That's when he got sick.
Yeah, but it takes, you know what time it is.
Of course. At first they said it was bronchitis, then they said it was AIDS, and now they're saying murder.
Yeah, who knows, man? Like, shit. They still looking for Biggie and Pac's murder.
Pac apparently got solved.
Huh?
They solved Pac's death, apparently.
They did what?
Yeah, they solved Tupac's murder.
Oh, is that right?
That's what they saying.
Man, I gotta go catch up on that.
Yeah, if you remember when they were in Las Vegas and they caught up with Orlando, what was his name? Orlando something. Pretty much Baby Lane. They caught him. That
was a good friend of mine as well.
Well, there you go. Apparently, Baby Lane was the one that did the murder, and for the longest time, police had him. They had him as their prime suspect, but they wanted eyewitness people to ID him and stuff. So that's why they never arrested him. But after he passed, Keefe D, his uncle, he came out. You know, he's going through cancer right now, and
exactly what it is.
yeah, they busted him for drug crimes or whatever, and so for bargaining or whatever, he put it out. He said, "You know what? I'll tell you about this." And so you could even check out the audio. Apparently, it's released. The interrogation between the police and Keefe D, and he pretty much laid it out, talking about how they were in the car, in the Cadillac, and how it happened, and he described it to a T. So they're like, yeah, it's Baby Lane and Keefe D. They did it up.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You know?
Man, that's crazy. It's crazy how Pop and Baby Lane set their facial, structures. It was similar to each other.
Yeah.
And they were both my good friends, man. Like, that should have never happened.
No, most definitely. Most definitely. But I don't know, from what I'm hearing, from the Bloods that were rolling with Pac at the time, the MOB, they were saying that Pac just wanted to show and prove. He wanted to let them know that he was a member. You know what I mean? He was down for him, and that's why he jumped Baby Lane.
But they jumped the real one, Baby Lane.
Hell yeah.
Them Southside, when they be on that CC Rider shit.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
All right. All we can say is rest in peace, Eazy-E, rest in peace, Tupac, Baby Lane, KMG, everybody.
Yep.
You know?
Everybody. Mac Dre, the Jackal.
Exactly. Toker. You know.
Toker.
All that.
Red from Booyah Tribe.
Hell yeah.
L.A. Dre.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? Big man, you should be a Ruthless.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey.
Nate Dogg. For sure. Man, the list go on and on and on. Some crazy shit. But all right, we're going to celebrate their legacy by, showcasing your music right here. Holding it down, representing that time, that era of music. We got your two singles right here.
What you say?
Say that again, brother.
Nah. I was saying, what did you say?
Oh, no, I'm just saying, we're going to kick it to your music right here, to celebrate all them soldiers that passed on, celebrate their legacy and everything else, by showcasing your music right here, because you were part of that era, man. You grew up in that era and you experienced it for real life, you know what I mean? Us, we just reading articles, we seeing interviews, we outside looking in, but you actually lived it,
Yeah, lived it, man, and able to continue.
There you go, and that's a blessing, brother. Yeah. Y'all tuned in right now. We got Kokane on the line. Kokane, you got any shout out before we let you go, brother?
Man, first I want to give a shout out to Home Invasion, man. Always showing the OG love. Appreciate y'all. Shout out to all the fans in Canada, US, Australia, Japan, London, Africa, all over the world. This new album, Finger Roll, Music for the Soul, is definitely going to hit your gut. Make sure you follow me at Twitter at Kokane Official, spelled Kokane Official, or you can reach me on my Instagram at Jerry B. Long. Make sure you press that GoFundMe. Shout out to all the fans. Definitely need your help, support on that. Make it do what it do. Shout out to all the Buddy Boy artists. Shout out to all the DJs, man. The DJs are very important, and just shout out to the streets, the people in the streets, from the ghetto. The new Finger Roll album, go pick that up. The singles is just released, Do It Coca, and The Good and the Bad, the Ugly. Taking you back like golf hats and croaker sacks with a 2019 twist.
That's what's up. Kokane, always a blessing to have you on the show.